Hey everyone, Krystal here from Stanella Farms. Today I'm here with another Gua Sha tutorial. Today what I want to talk about is Gua Sha particularly for the sinuses. So let's just do a quick understanding of the sinuses. We have 4 primary sinuses within our face. We can access 3 of them from the surface. The sphenoid sinus is deep within the head, so we're going to skip that one for today. But we've got access to the frontal sinus, which is going to come right in here, the frontal bone. We've also got access to the ethmoid sinus. So the ethmoid is a bone that's right here in the side of the nose, and the sinus just kind of comes down on the 2 sides of the nose equally. And then we have access to the maxillary sinus. And the maxillary sinus is the one that's going to run kind of in here, just where our cheekbones, the high point of our cheekbones is, okay, and sort of under that point. Now, we've got some acupuncture points that we can work with. So I'm going to point these out. You can use Gua Sha on these points, but you can also stimulate them with your fingertips. So I'll show you with my fingers where they are first. We're going to start off with bladder 2, and this is called Gather Bamboo. So we're going to follow the eyebrows in, and where the point of the eyebrows is, that's pretty much where bladder 2 is. And you could do some nice little circular motions here on bladder 2. Okay, great. Then we're going to move on to large intestine 20, which is welcome fragrance. So we're going to slide down the nose to where the nose kind of flares out, and that's going to be right in that crux there. That's going to be welcome fragrance. And the same thing, we could do some little circles there. Inward circles, outward circles, all good. We can also stimulate it with our fingertips and again with the Gua Sha tools. Next, we're going to move on to a point called stomach 2. So if we take the pupils and we go right down the center, just onto the bone right here, the zygoma, there's a little divot in there directly in the center with the pupils. That little divot should be a little bit tender. And that point is going to be called forewhite, stomach 2. And again, we could do some nice little circles there, just add some pressure. It's a great point to clear out the sinuses, and particularly to clear out anything that's going on related to the eyes with the sinuses. So watery eyes or dry eyes, all of that can really be useful by using this point. And then finally, we've got an extra point. It's called Bai Tong, and it's going to be known as the nose passage. So here we had the large intestine 20, just above that, right, kind of where the flare of the nose is. And if we kind of feel that flare and then push our fingers back a little bit, so stretch your nose back and go in and under, that's nose passage, and that point should be a little tender as well. Do some little circles. They're kind of going to be forward and backward circles there. Okay, excellent. So we can do a Gua Sha treatment here as well. If you don't have your tools, no big deal. If you do have your tools, why not go for it, right? So I'm going to use our rose hip serum, our facial serum that we make. So just for those of you who are unfamiliar with our serum, it's a really simple recipe, and it's actually great for sensitive skin because all it has in it is grapeseed oil, jojoba oil, rose hips, and a little bit of rose absolute. So 4 ingredients really, and 4 ingredients are going to give us great access to be able to take care of our skin without lots of extra stuff in there. All the properties of the rose hips are really what we're looking for, and those are going to be delivered directly through the oils into our skin. So I've done the oil all over my face, but I'll put a little extra attention, obviously, in the areas that we're going to be working in. And what I like to do, again, particularly around this area, if you haven't watched my first tutorial for basics of facial Gua Sha, go ahead and do that because that's going to be useful for you. But with the massage, I actually like to just kind of start stimulating bladder 2. I like to start that and then pull it out through the eyebrows, right? And this is all about the sinuses. So we're opening those sinuses and trying to move anything that's junked up in the sinuses out, right? And then we'll go down between the eyes and then start to pull outward. So we're just dancing upon and over nasal passage here and then forewhites here. So this is kind of just a nice one to open the eyes up. Then I'm going to take it a little bit lower and I'm going to tease right on nose passage, so that point right here that we talked about, and four whites. And just again, same thing, really open it up. Take it down the nose again, and now we're going to get into welcome fragrance. And you can go really deep here. You can go right under those maxillary sinuses here, so that's going to feel pretty good. Okay, great. And as always, before you do any facial gua sha and massage, it's particularly useful to open the lymph. Now, if you've got a sinus thing going on, you really want to open the lymph. So you want to use our Gua Sha feather tool here. Sorry about that, my face was in the camera. You want to use our Gua Sha feather tool, and you want to get, again, into the collarbone. So below the collarbone, feather it above the collarbone, and then get right into that lymphatic area, okay? Again, first video is going to give you great information on that. Now, particularly because we want to drain, if we're working on sinuses, we really want to have the lymphatic channels open, ready to receive anything that we wake up through this process. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to use, this is our Triple Moon Goddess Gua Sha set. So you've got the feather tool, and then you've also got the contour tool. And what I like to do for sinuses, I actually really like to give some nourishment with them. So I like this little finger-like protrusion. Okay, it feels really good to me to kind of start there. And I'm actually going to start on, this is my right side, but you can start on either side. It doesn't really matter. And I'm going to start with welcome fragrance. And of course, the point name, welcome fragrance, right? It sort of gives you the sense of what this point is for, accessing the olfactory nerve, accessing the side, and just do about 10 circles here in and then out 10 circles, okay? And you should actually probably start to feel some draining as you go through the process, right? Okay, so then from there, I'm gonna run right under that maxillary sinus. And I'm gonna do some deep pressure if I can tolerate it. If your sinus is overly stimulated or overactivated, you're gonna have a little bit more tension in that space, okay? So don't go too hard, go gentle with it. And again, I'll do about 10 there. And then I'm gonna pop right up and I'm gonna find that real tender point and use the sort of point here of the Gua Sha tool to get into four whites. And it's gonna be a little bit tender, but it's also really, really useful for us. I'll do the circles out and then the circles in. Doesn't matter if you go in or out first, okay? Do about 10 each direction. Next, we're gonna go up to the ethmoid sinus. So for the sinuses, we're doing long pulls. For the acupoints, we're doing little circles, okay? So we're gonna grab in on the sinus. You can close your eye for that. And again, just do a nice long pull down. Long pulls here. And do about 10 of those nice long pulls right along the sinuses. It's really, really good. It should feel like you're getting into something, even if you don't have sinuses that are particularly irritated, okay? So after that, and again, you're noticing some redding up of my skin. That's good. That's what we want. That's blood flow. That's qi. That's all of the energy coming to the face and really tonifying these structures. So that's a good thing. Then we're going to go in, we're going to find that extra point, bitong or baitong, and we're going to go ahead and just kind of dig in that point, little circles again, okay? Outward circles, inward circles, excellent. Good. We're going to go up now and we're going to use again this tool, this part of the tool, and we're just going to go ahead and feather along that sinus, feather along the frontal sinus here. And bladder 2, collect bamboo. Bamboo is all about abundance, right? So it's a great place to kind of collect abundance. This is also a great technique. If you've got thinking lines here, this is a nice technique. The thinking lines are usually right on bladder 2. This is a good technique to clean up those thinking lines for you. Okay, you can also do the magic eraser technique, but this is a nice one. So about 10 of those, and then we'll go right onto bladder 2, again with the acupoint sort of protrusion. And this one we're gonna do some nice bigger circles, just like large intestine 4. We should be able to get bigger circles here, and then do them the other way. Excellent. And then we wanna run that through the other side of our face as well. So if you guys have any questions about Gua Sha, about my tools or our serum, go ahead and just let me know. Otherwise, I would love to know your feedback. I would love to know, what does this feel like? You can always use 2 tools at one time on your face. That's another way to kind of work with this. It's great to do it in the mirror so that you can kind of see what's happening and really access those points, or use your camera phone like I'm doing here. But also it's great to do one side, because then you can feel like the right side of my face feels really, really different right now than the left side of my face. So it's good to see sort of what the energy feels like and what the difference is from side to side. And then once you do that, of course, you can add your double tools and work with 2 at once. All right, guys, thanks so much again. It's Krystal from Stinella Farms, and we've got our Gua Sha tools and our facial serum available to you on our website now. Thanks so much for joining. Bye.